This is the legend of the greatest hero who ever lived. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Trieyx here, back on an episode of The Legend of Trieyx. Okay, so in today's video, I kinda want to talk about how I think MapleStory will shut down. So before I start off this video, I just want to say that I don't think MapleStory will shut down anytime soon, so don't worry about that. I'm not saying MapleStory will shut down like tomorrow or something like that. I think this game will last for many more years, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought this game would shut down years ago. I kind of started playing MapleStory around 2016, and around then, I thought to myself, like, MapleStory is a great game, and like, I love this game a lot, but I don't see this game lasting up till 2020. Like, I thought they'd shut down before 2020, because I was like, why would anyone play MapleStory nowadays when there's so many better games out there, so many better MMOs, so many better like console games and stuff like that. Why would anyone want to play this old game? Not only that, but the player base was dwindling at the time. More people quit the game than actually joining the game. So yeah, around that time, I thought the MapleStory wouldn't really be around much longer. But yeah, that wasn't the main reason why I stopped playing MapleStory. The main reason why I kind of stopped playing MapleStory as much as I used to, like I think back then, I used to play a game like almost every day. But around the end of 2016, that's when I kind of stopped playing the game as much as I used to. Like I kind of just took long hiatuses and just played the game whenever I kind of felt like it or whenever they release something new. But yeah, I'm still like that to this day. Like I still kind of take long breaks and I only play the game when something interests me. So yeah, right now is one of those moments where I'm like, you know, I'm really enjoying the game right now, so I'm like playing it every day. But it might get to the point where I might get burned out and I probably will kind of take a break, but we'll see. Like right now I kind of enjoy it and I don't know, I kind of want to do some more content, so maybe I might play it more often now. But going back to what I was saying before, MapleStory potentially shutting down, that was not the main reason why I was taking a break from the game, but it was one of the things I thought of when I was taking that break. And I think around the time Reboot just came out, if not, they might have came out like a year before that, I'm not exactly sure, but at the time I kind of thought to myself, like, Reboot definitely a really good way to bring people back, and it was kind of something that was needed in this game and something that I feel like a lot of people would like. But even then, I didn't think it would be enough to bring people back and kind of keep the game alive. Not only that, but I felt like MapleStory content creation wise around that time was kind of slowing down. Like there wasn't really as much people making MapleStory videos on YouTube and stuff like that, or MapleStory content in general, like on Twitch, as much as there used to be. Say there wasn't much eyes on MapleStory at the time. Say with all that combined, I kind of thought that the future of MapleStory was kind of grim and it wasn't really looking so well. But yeah, keep in mind, back then I was kind of still a kid, so yeah, I was kind of stupid back then. I'm still kind of a kid today, like I'm still kind of stupid, so yeah, like not much has changed from then, but mentally I definitely matured since back then. So yeah, like my thought process and everything like that is definitely a lot different than it is back then. So yeah, fast forwarding to this year, like around a few months ago, I still had the same mentality. I was shocked that MapleStory is still doing so well to this day. And I'm like, why are people still playing this really old game when there's so many better games out there? Now, something I didn't really understand, I was really happy to see MapleStory is doing really well because I love this game a lot. Like I played this game for like 14 years, so yeah, like I was still really happy to see it doing really well and sort of growing. But at the same time, I was really confused on why the game is doing this well. Like I didn't expect it to do this well. Like I said before, I didn't think the game will last up to 2020, so the fact that it's 2022 now and it's still going on and it's still doing really well to this day, I was like really confused. So yeah, then the Destiny patch came out, I was like, oh shoot, they're revamping all the Explorers, and I'm like, I kind of want to try it out. Like it kind of looks very interesting to see all the old jobs from the Explorer class kind of get a fresh new look, I guess. So it kind of intrigued me, so I was like, you know what, let me go back on MapleStory and kind of play the game again and see what has changed from like a 2-year hiatus it took from 2020 to 2022. Prior to me playing this game right now, I haven't played MapleStory since 2020, so yeah, I kind of took like a 2-year hiatus, so I was like, we're interested to see what has changed over the past 2 years. And overall, I'm kind of excited to play the Explorer class again. I kind of just experienced something new. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like the Destiny patch brought back a lot of people. I felt like the Destiny patch was definitely like one of the peaks when it comes to MapleStory over like the past few years. I could be wrong. I really don't know the statistics. I kind of just guess. Like I felt like Destiny patch was like one of the biggest patches in like recent times. But definitely correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't really kept up with MapleStory over like the past 2 years, so I don't really know. I'm basically just saying what I noticed. But not only that, but MapleStory content I feel like has gotten bigger than it was previously. Like, I've been watching some MapleStory videos trying to, you know, find out what the best training spots are and like looking at the new skills, and I feel like the view counts on those videos are definitely a lot higher than they were a few years back. But not only that, but I feel like there are a lot more MapleStory content creators now than there were back then. Yeah, it's definitely really awesome want to see a lot more people play this game because I love this game a lot, and I love to see people play my childhood games. It's definitely great to see MapleStory content popping off on YouTube and Twitch, stuff like that. But overall, I feel like the Destiny patch is definitely a really good thing for MapleStory, and it's something that it really needed. I'm not saying the MapleStory content and stuff like that prior to the Destiny update was small by any means, but definitely you can't lie that the Destiny patch brought back a lot of people and kind of got more people playing the game and kind of got more people curious on the game if they've never played it. Also, shout out to like MapleStory team, them kind of doing sponsorships with other content creators, getting more eyes on the game, and I feel like they're actually doing some more advertisement now, which is kind of interesting. They're definitely going all out when it comes to the advertisement stuff. Like, not as big as it used to be. Like, I don't really see MapleStory ads on TV nowadays. Back then, there used to be ads on TV for MapleStory, and I was like shocked. Like, it was cool, but at the same time, like really shocked. I think the only time I really saw on TV was when Iran first came out in MapleStory. Like, that's the only time I saw MapleStory ad on TV. But for the most part, I kind of see the ads on like websites, like on the side, stuff like that, as well as like the sponsorships. Yeah, the MapleStory team is definitely doing a really good job on advertising the game. So that's one of the reasons why MapleStory is popping off today. But anyways, I'm kind of a little bit sidetracked. Going back to what I was saying before, basically I came back to MapleStory a few weeks ago, and I've been playing Destiny patch using like terror burners to like make new characters, level 200, trying out all the new Explorer revamps, stuff like that, and I've been having a blast. It's definitely a lot of fun. Like, I had so much fun that I'm actually bringing back MapleStory content on my channel again for a short bit, or it could be permanent, who knows, depending on how much I enjoy playing this game. As well as if you guys actually want to watch MapleStory content on my channel. I'm not really sure. People want to watch my MapleStory content, especially since I'm kind of like new now. Like, even though I did MapleStory content back in the day, I haven't done it in a long time, so I guess I'm kind of like a new MapleStory content creator again. So it's very interesting to kind of experience that again, even though I wasn't really that big of a MapleStory content creator back then anyway. So not like I really had a name in the community. But yeah, if you guys want to see more MapleStory content in the future from me, definitely let me know via the comment section. Hit the like and subscribe button also really helps as well. Those tells me that you guys actually want to see more of this. I'll do more if you guys want to see more, but if you guys don't want to see it, then I probably won't do as much. I'll probably do some here and there, but definitely not like every week or something like that. But who knows, I might do weekly MapleStory videos again like I used to back in the day. But anyways, I've been coming back to MapleStory and kind of training up my characters. I kind of had some time to think about why I think MapleStory is still doing so well to this day, and then I realized the reason why MapleStory is still doing so well. And the reason is because MapleStory is such a unique game. There is no game like MapleStory out there anymore. There are no 2D side-scrolling MMOs anymore. There probably isn't even any 2D side-scrolling games at all. I'm not sure if anyone even makes 2D side-scrolling games anymore. It might be some. Can't really say that there's none, but definitely not to the scale of MapleStory where it can compete with it. But not only that, but the gameplay in MapleStory is so different compared to a lot of MMOs nowadays. Comparing it to games like Final Fantasy 14 and stuff like that, where they're like kind of like 3D MMOs, the gameplay of those games are very different. It's like 2D against 3D, so obviously it's gonna be a little bit different, but in terms of the gameplay itself, MapleStory gameplay is so much faster than 3D MMOs. When I play Final Fantasy 14, the combat in that game is very slow compared to MapleStory. You're kind of fighting one enemy at a time. Like, I think there probably are like AoE skills in the future. I haven't gotten that far into the game. Yeah, it probably makes the combat a little bit faster, but even then, the combat in Final Fantasy 14 is relatively slow compared to MapleStory. MapleStory, you can kind of defeat 100 enemies in a minute, and not only that, but you can see really big numbers in MapleStory, and people love seeing big numbers. They like doing a lot of damage, whereas games like Final Fantasy 14, you can't really beat 100 enemies in a minute. It kind of takes time to beat enemies. Like, I'm in the very early stages of Final Fantasy 14, but when I'm fighting out in the wild or doing dungeons, I can only hit one enemy at a time. So it takes really long to beat an enemy. But not only that, but the enemies in that game kind of have a lot of HP. Granted, I'm new, so I don't have any of the good equipments to beat enemies in one hit. So yeah, the gameplay in MapleStory is definitely way different than a lot of traditional MMOs nowadays. But not only that, but the 2D and 3D comparison definitely factors to the combat system and stuff like that. So yeah, the way I see it, like 3D MMOs nowadays is kind of like the Souls series, where it's kind of like one-on-one, and you kind of have to think about how you want to fight the enemy. Whereas MapleStory is kind of like, if you guys play games like Hyrule Warriors or Fire Emblem Warriors or Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, like at the newest one, like those type of games where you can beat 100 enemies in like minutes. It's basically like that in a way. That's how I compare the gameplay to MMOs nowadays compared to MapleStory. So MapleStory having a unique gameplay definitely is one of the reasons why it's doing so well to this day. Not only that, but the nostalgia factor, obviously. People who have played the game previously, you know, seeing the game still doing really well to this day might be like, you know what, I might try the game out again, see what changed. And nostalgia kind of keeps people coming back. People can't really quit the game because they kind of grew up with the game. So yeah, this game is like their comfort game, stuff like like that. So yeah, nostalgia definitely plays a factor into the game still doing really well to this day. But in my opinion, the unique gameplay definitely the reason why it's still doing so well. Like I said before, MapleStory has no competition because the game is so much different compared to other games that there are no games like this game out there. So if there's no competition, there's no one to kind of steal your players, which is why MapleStory is able to retain the core player base, and it's also able to bring new players in who are kind of interested in this game, like the gameplay and stuff like that. But yeah, if there was a competitor to MapleStory, then MapleStory wouldn't really do as well it is today. Like it still do really well, but definitely not as well it is today. So not having competition benefits MapleStory a lot. So not having played the game for a few years and replaying it again and kind of rethinking this question on why I think MapleStory is still doing so well to this day, that's what I came up with. That's when I realized that MapleStory probably won't shut down anytime soon, which then kind of led to my question, what will make MapleStory shut down? What will be the reason why this game shuts down? And I kind of thought about it and I was like, the gameplay won't be the reason why this game shuts down. The game is so unique and there's no game out there and there are no competitors to MapleStory, so there's no game that will be able to steal MapleStory's players. So I was like, that's not the reason why the game was shut down. Even though I thought the gameplay was the reason why MapleStory was shut down years ago, now I realize that that's actually a strength to why MapleStory is doing so well to this day. So yeah, I was kind of stumped on the question, and then I kind of thought about it a little more, and then I realized probably the only thing to why MapleStory was shut down in the future. Like I kind of found my answer basically, and it's kind of like a stupid answer, but at the same time, like not really. But the only way I can see MapleStory shutting down in the future is because of Nexon. And you guys are probably like, why would Nexon be the reason why the game shuts down? And it's pretty simple. If you guys have played this game as long as I have, heck, you guys don't even need to play the game as long as I have. All you need to do is play the game for like a few months or a year, and then you realize that Nexon as a company is kind of a mess. Like, okay, not really a mess, but they kind of do a lot of stupid things. They kind of do a lot of things that makes the player base mad. And even if you complain about it, they don't really care what you think. Like, sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. So yeah, like once they come up with a decision, they stand by that decision. Even if there's like massive outrage, that's not gonna change the decision unless it's something really bad, like all of a sudden they stop making money. That's when they will do something about it, but for the most part they're not gonna do anything about it. Like a recent example, Kana characters kind of having their Kinshin nerfed. A lot of people complain about that, but it still eventually got nerfed. Potable badges not being in the game anymore, that's one of the things that people complain about. I don't remember every single one of the things that people complain about, but there are a lot of things that people complain about. Actually, I think another thing was like something about the cubing rates or something. Like, weren't they supposed to disclose the cubing rates? I'm not sure if they did that yet, but I know a lot of people complaining about, you know, the rates not being shown. There's a whole bunch of like random stuff basically. But yeah, some of the stuff I listed were recent stuff. They've done a lot of dumb things prior to the stuff I listed. Nexon is not really known to listen to their player base, and that's one reason why the player base of MapleStory has dwindled so much over the past few years. It's because Nexon done a lot of stupid stuff to kind of piss off the player base and kind of make people quit the game. But if you guys played the game back then, you guys will know that Nexon does not listen to their player base at all. When MapleStory was at its peak, they did not care what people thought at all. Like, because at the time, Nexon thought they knew better, and for the most part they do know better. They have access to all like the statistics, stuff like that. They know what makes money and what doesn't make money and all that nonsense. So for the most part they do know what's better for the game, but there's a lot of things that stats don't tell you. When it comes to Nexon, they kind of underestimated how much the players' voices matter, because at the end of the day we are the ones who play the game and spend money on the game. So I felt like they kind of underestimated how much our opinions matter, and them not listening to the player base and kind of just doing what they wanted to do, and no matter how much complaining, they never changed the ways, and that led to MapleStory started going on a downfall, to the point where around the time where I kind of stopped playing MapleStory was the time when they kind of realized that the players' voices matter, and they started listening to the player base more, and which is why MapleStory is kind of going on an uphill now. Even now they still don't really listen to the player base that much, but they definitely listen to the player base a lot more than they do back then, because back then they didn't care, but now they actually care. And the reason why they have to listen to our feedback now is because they're kind of forced to. Like, if they want to keep the player base, they have to listen to them. But not only that, but they realize that player feedback is very important, because if they don't listen to the player feedback, everybody will quit and then the game will shut down, and they don't want that. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if MapleStory is at its peak today, like it's doing peak numbers right now like it was back then, the game wouldn't be as good as it is today, because the MapleStory didn't go through that downfall period. They wouldn't have realized that player feedback matters, meaning that they wouldn't have listened to their player base as much as they have right now. So yeah, like a lot of the quality of life changes in this game were because of player feedback. So without that feedback, the game wouldn't be as good as it is today. So yeah, like that's why the downfall period of MapleStory was so important for the game. Next time experiencing that downfall made them scared of the game shutting down, and that's when they kind of changed their ways and kind of started listening to player feedback. But yeah, as great as MapleStory is today, like it could still be a lot better. And one of the reasons why I feel like this game hasn't really reached its full potential is mostly because this game doesn't really have a competitor. I talked about this previously, but MapleStory has no competition. And when it comes to games and anything in life really, it's kind of beneficial to have a competitor or a rival. That way it kind of brings the best out of you. Yeah, the fact that MapleStory had no competitor means that they can kind of get away a lot of stuff that wouldn't fly if there was another game that competes with this game. Because the next time there's something stupid in MapleStory, people might be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm going to move on to like Story Maple or something. Like, I don't know. Like the other competitors. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of wish that MapleStory kind of had competition. That way next time would have to put on their A game and do whatever they can to keep their player base from going to the competition. But unfortunately for us, I don't think MapleStory will get any competition anytime soon, if ever. So we have no choice but to kind of deal with MapleStory's nonsense. But yeah, as consumers, you want to see your favorite product have competition. That way you know that the product you're getting from that company is the best of the best. Like they put the all into it to kind of compete with the other company, whatever. Yeah, that's why competition is really good, not only in business wise, but in life as well. Like when it comes to sports or video games, stuff like that, you want to have that rival that kind of challenges you and bring the best out of you. So yeah, like competition, I feel like for the most part is always good. But with all that said, going back to what I was saying before, the reason I think MapleStory will shut down in the future is because of Nexon. Them doing something stupid, something so outrageous that it causes the player base to be fed up with their nonsense and like, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm gonna quit. And it kind of leads to like a whole mass quitting session, I guess. And with that mass quitting session, MapleStory won't be able to recover and eventually it'll shut down, stuff like that. So that's the only way I see MapleStory shutting down anytime soon. Other than that, if Nexon keeps doing what they're doing and listen to the player base more and stop doing some stupid stuff, which it's Nexon, so they eventually gonna do stupid stuff in the future. It's kind of inevitable. You're gonna see them do something stupid in the future. Not only that, but a lot of companies, not even Nexon, they kind of do stupid stuff occasionally. So it's not like it's something you can avoid, but it's how you bounce back is what matters. And Nexon, sometimes they don't really bounce back that well. And you can't really blame Nexon North America that much as well, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think Nexon America kind of follow orders from Nexon Korea. So yeah, most of the dumb changes in MapleStory is from Nexon Korea telling Nexon North America to make these changes. So yeah, and then they kind of have to follow orders from them because Nexon Korea is like the higher up. So essentially speaking, Nexon Korea is like the puppet master, and Nexon North America is kind of like the puppet. They just kind of do what they tell them to do. Nexon North America definitely has some say in the decision that Nexon Korea makes, probably not as much. Like if Nexon Korea says that they want this to be out of the game or change, their voices matter more than Nexon North America. So yeah, I think that's how it works. I think the same thing with like Dokkan back in the day. You guys play Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, the mobile game. I remember how Bandai Japan, they kind of had more of a say and control everything in the global version of that game. But I think the same case here. I could be wrong. So essentially, Nexon North America is kind of like the scapegoat in a way, but not really, because they do deserve some of the blame as well. Because not every dumb decision that they make is from Nexon Korea. But in conclusion, to answer the question in this video, the reason why I think MapleStory will shut down in the future is because of Nexon. So yeah, that's the reason why. That's basically the main summary. Like, I can't believe I went on a whole tangent about this. Like I've basically been talking non-stop for 1 hour. You guys want to see the entire hour footage, but I don't know how I even ramble on for an hour long. I thought this video would be like at most 30 minutes, but I always end up rambling for a lot longer. So yeah, but definitely let me know what you guys thought about the topic of this video and what I said, whether or not you guys agree or not, or if you guys have your own theories on how this game shut down, as well as why you guys think this game is doing so well to this day. Like, I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this topic, because I know that we all had thoughts on this topic. Like there's no way I'm the only one who had thoughts on MapleStory shutting down, so definitely let me know. I'm curious. But if you guys want to see more MapleStory videos in the future, definitely let me know. Hit the like and subscribe button, or about the comment section, stuff like that. Like let me know if you guys want to see more videos on this. Like right now with the Legend of Trieyx series, I'm kind of just doing post commentary while just talking about some random things. This is kind of like a let's play sort of thing. But if you guys want to see other videos in the future, like bossing videos or cubing videos, stuff like that, let me know. As well, let me know if you guys like to see more of these post commentary videos, or just talk about like some random things, as well as what you guys want me to talk about in the future. Like it doesn't have to be MapleStory, it could be like anything, as long as it's something that I'm interested in. If you guys ask me to talk about, you know, like beauty products, stuff like that, like I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, like if something interesting, like if you guys want to talk about basketball or certain movie, like Marvel movies, I'm a huge fan of Marvel movies or stuff like that, like let me know. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of footage footage when it comes to my journey on my Buccaneers. I can definitely make more post-commentary videos, just talking about some random things in the future, since I have the footage to cover that. But also, like always, I wouldn't mind getting some tips on Reboot. I definitely will take any tips I can get in this game, because I'm kind of a noob, even though I'm kind of like a veteran in this game. But next video, I might talk about my thoughts on the Buccaneer class post-Destiny, as well as talking about the Buccaneer class in general. Because I've been playing the Buccaneer class ever since they had Demolition and like Super Transformation and Backspin Blow and all that stuff. So yeah, like I think it'd be a fun video to do. And also another video I kind of thought of right now would be kind of interesting topic is if cubing ruined MapleStory. I think it'd be kind of a fun topic. I remember cubing when it first came out was controversial in a way. Not everybody liked it, and I think a lot of people quit MapleStory because of that. I think it'd be a fun video to do, so I might do that in the future. But anyways, enough rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know the video is super long, so you guys probably not gonna watch the entire thing, but if you guys actually watch the entire thing, shout out to you. But anyways, comment on this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.